Well, it looks like we have a start. I'm just going to guess that we're good to go right now. And we have an immediate divergence. Not even 10 seconds in, and already our players are going different places. I like it.
Let's see where they head off to.
So it looks like Frick is going the more traditional route of kill a guard, pull the tree, go check the uncle.
Giving Tree was giving today. QuizBowl setting up the Houlihan room, though.
He may be thinking about the money needed for Kakariko.
That is always it's always a good thing to be prepared for.
Free bombs and escape is kind of nice. Yes, it was supposed to be a four-way, but what's the light way to put this? One of the runners did not show. There you go. Thank you, Zebra. So it looks like there's nothing major so far found from either player. Just some money, some bombs.
Heart containers.
Yep.
So it looks like we're going to have a lumberjack ledge check in a moment. So let's see if Aghanim is required.
And something to note, the poultry contains full magic. So in theory, our players won't have to worry about magic all that much if they're near a tree that they can pull. I saw a duck.
It's a medallion.
So we're looking at a... What is it? 2/3, 50%, some math chance that Aghanim is required.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
There was nothing major over by where the mushroom normally is.
Thieves' Hut containing 20 more rupees.
It's a single green rupee. Not worth the time and effort to pick up 2 bushes. So this is about what you would expect is to head immediately to Kakariko just due to the massive chest density there. So there's no real surprises yet. And right now our players are looking for a little bit of everything. Some good early items. Ooh, there's some good money.
The lamp.
Our dark rooms today. More importantly, it's a fire source. So that'll allow them to do desert and complete Hera if the basement's required. Assuming both are required. So, to note... Oh, early Moon Pearl. So now they just need more items to access Dark World. Bottle vendor having nothing.
I'm calling for gloves and hammer next.
I'm gonna say... sword and cape.
Ooh.
So the early Moon Pearl is good, because it gives them early access to Dark World. The problem is they don't have access to Dark World, like we've been talking about. Hey, there's a bee. So they can check Sick Kid while they're here.
Chicken
Get
House
it.
just having more money. Ooh, but the hammer.
You may be right that we'll see a hammer and gloves.
And the tavern holds a B.
But perhaps more interestingly, that gives them an option as far as a weapon goes, too.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, the only things that are open to them are... Oh, that's interesting.
I have never seen
I
that
didn't know
done
you could do
before.
that. That does give QuizBowl enough money for Zora. Fortunately, nothing in the library. So apparently, as we've now learned, if you release the B on the bottle vendor, you get 100 rubies. Looks like there was something at the race game. I didn't quite catch what it was, but we'll see it in just a second here.
I think it was the mushroom.
A fetch quest item. So the problem with something like the mushroom, the shovel, the powder, what's it called? The book, in some cases, is it basically means you have to get it anyway because you don't know what it could be.
Kind of like Schrodinger's cat.
Yes. Although if I got a cat out of a mushroom, I'd be very confused.
I would probably be concerned too.
So it looks like Frick is going to head into the back end of Escape.
I mean, they do have hammer, so that does do tempered damage. And they also have lamp, so if they wanted to complete Escape, they could.
Absolutely. The only part they may not be able to do is the back part of Escape that requires bombs to get into, but as long as the key's on the way, they can just go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're seeing the same play out of QuizBowl. So Escape is pretty much the same as it is in Standard, just this time you may or may not have a sword. And you're not guaranteed to get the key before you go to that back room in Escape that you normally can fall under from the grave. Well, it doesn't look like there's much down here yet. I'm thinking we can expect a death warp out of this portion if Frick wants to go check the one chest, or potentially more if the key's down here.
Interesting why they chose to take a few hits.
Oh, there's the gloves. That's Dark World access. Yeah. Looks like we have a death warp out, which is fine. He's gonna go check the back half.
QuizBowl right behind Frick, so they're going to get gloves pretty soon.
At this point, The entire Dark World is open to them except for most of the dungeons and, you know, the mirror spots, Mire area, basically half of the Dark World. Gets the map in the dark room, so he will have to go from the sanctuary to open up the other 3 chests and escape. QuizBowl's about to go ahead and grab his gloves. Let's see what's in the back. Whole lot of nothing. I'm not quite sure why Frick is heading back towards the chest. Oh, there he goes. So at this point, once both runners are finished with escape, we'll probably see them head down towards the South Shore and Mini Moldorm Cave. No? Yes? Yes, okay. Fortunately, at the moment, it is going to be a little while before we see what the medallion requirements are, and more importantly, before we see what, if Aghanim will be required. QuizBowl doing a good job counting his items. He knows that the map is the last item that is in the escape, and he will just up and A out. There is a soggy sword ready to go.
We did have a map check, though. Tower of Hera being 1, Eastern Palace being 4, and Desert Palace being Green Pendant.
Interesting. The Green Pendant at Desert is particularly interesting because of the way... So the required items to get into Desert are either the book or the flute and mirror. And yes, like a fire source is also required, but both of our players have one of those already. There's quite a few options to be at Sahasala. Mini Moldorm Cave might as well be the Big 20 Cave.
Oh, lots the Love Cave.
Looks like... Will he set up a fake flippers? Will he head to Ice Rod? Or will he do something completely unexpected?
My guess is head straight to Ice Rod, go back, set up fake flippers, and do the whole fake flippers route. Because they have the Moon Pearl, they can do the walk on water glitch.
That is right. You know, assuming the flippers aren't in Ice Rod Cave to begin with.
That would be convenient if they were.
Oh, yes, it would. Let's see. Just some love. So we know that there's 2 pendants in the Dark World. Do you have any predictions as to what those 2 pendant dungeons are going to be?
If I was a runner or a racer, I would hope that the pendants would be Turtle Rock and Ice Palace. But as a commentator, I kind of want Skull Woods and Thieves Town to be pendants.
I'm gonna take the odd approach. I'm gonna say Turtle Rock's a pendant and pedestals required, with Swamp being the other pendant. The old man
silver
holding
arrows.
So now, that is one, gigantic in terms of not having to do silverless cannon. And two, if they find a bow early, that's just tons of damage. A very good find, especially this early in.
I mean, so many bosses are easily taken out by silvers. I mean, you have the Armos Knights. You have if you can get the shots off the Lamos, Helmastar King without a mask, Vitreous, Argus.
I know they do not work on Cold Stare.
They do. I don't believe so, and I don't think they work on blind.
I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I could be wrong about blind though. I've never actually tried blind with arrows.
So now we have the divergence. Ooh, early mirror. So interesting to note on Fricker's side, with that early mirror, he now has access to the entirety of Death Mountain. Except for the Ether Tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a water walk from QuizBowl to go ahead and get those flippers. Just be so hard on the ledge, so he won't have to come back for those. Let's see what Zor has.
Ooh, just bombs.
A life lesson today. Well, not a legit life lesson, but might as well be one. So let's see where QuizBowl heads from here. I'll be interested to see if he decides to make the Dark World play now. It looks like where he's going.
I'm guessing we're gonna see an initial dip into either Thieves Town and or Skull Woods.
That is actually pretty likely, especially with the not as true meme of Skullwoods has everything in B26. Frick gonna do the damage boost to get the bug net. So unfortunately, no bow, but Aghanim can now be Swaghanim'd.
A crowd favorite.
You have a Dark World check. Mire and Swamp are our two pendants. 5 and 6 are T-Rock and Pod.
Ooh.
Which also means you have a 33% chance that this seed is Aga 1 required. So now we're going to see both players mirroring each other, just one having the actual mirror and one not. Now, what will be even more interesting is if the players find a Titan's Mitt soon. Because then there's a lot more overworld spots that Frick can check over QuizBowl.
Yeah. We could see vanilla-ish Titan's Mitts.
Well, here's the Skullwoods check. Buying a red potion. Not a bad idea with this little health and green mail. First item in Skull Woods is a map. That's not what we needed. So if this is not a key, and it's not, it's the validation arrow, we will see this large room that is guaranteed to have a key. As we have Quiz and Thieves Town.
Ooh, just a compass. Not an exciting first item. Now, do you think we'll see a full clear of Thieves Town from QuizBowl?
Yes. It's a crystal dungeon. He has everything he needs to complete it. I don't see why he wouldn't do it. Frick still on the hunt for that second item in Skull Woods.
Ooh, and the cane.
That's one step closer to an open T-Rock. Taking a Death Wart, not a bad idea. The vanilla big key in Skull Woods.
Is Skull Woods even randomized?
Well, it did have the validation arrow, so yes. Now, if the fire rod's in here, I'm going to call shenanigans. Nope, just a key. Which does mean the fire rod is required to get the second item in Skullwoods, as it's in Mossula's area. Let's see where Frick goes now that he's done his Skullwoods check, which unfortunately didn't pay off this time. My guess is he is also going to go ahead and just do Thieves Town while he's here. Looks like we will be going to the basement to see the other two items. I can't tell if that was a Death Warp or not. It looked like it.
I'm gonna say
Probably.
it was.
I guess it's the question of, do you want the health and then have to go through the hellway again, or do you want to not have to go through the hellway again? So if you die deep in the dungeon, you have to do it again anyway, so... Frick will be picking up his cane pretty soon. So if a hookshot shows up in Thieves Town, do you think Frick will go ahead and make a dip into Swamp?
If I was in Frick's shoes, I would. Because I feel like that's the game telling me, hey, Swamp, hookshot.
I probably also would, given that Swamp statistically is loaded among the breadcrumb trail. QuizBowl's got to be careful. He's only got one heart here. Here's the big red cane over on Frick's side. Let's see what's in Blind's chest. Ooh, a lucky fairy drop there. And 50 bucks.
Not super great.
So I think there's one item left in Thieves Town for both of our runners. Well, technically two for Frick's side, but we know what one of the items he's going to be picking up is now. Oh, the book. Desert is now open. Sort of.
Desert could possibly be boots locked.
But it is also the green pendant. And something else to note is that if they are able to complete Desert, then QuizBowl's routing on the eastern side of Hyrule will be slightly more efficient. Oh, Frick takes a death to the cockroaches. Not what you want to do when you don't have the ceiling opened up.
Ooh, the flippers are blind.
Interesting. It doesn't... Well... Never... Did QuizBowl do the fake flippers?
I don't believe so.
They may lead him to Zora then. So we're gonna have a digging game check. Type in chat, how many digs do you think it's gonna be? So far we're at 10. Apparently the answer is very many.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Does not get the text box skip. Fortunately, old Stumpy just carrying some pocket change. Looks like we should see a South Hyrule check. We'll probably roll into pod afterwards.
Looks like we're gonna have a hype cave check.
Actually, no, he may... No. I was gonna think he may roll over to Eastern, but hype cave into pod seems more likely. Let's see what we got.
Email.
Banana Hat lives. Fricker now has his book. Looks like we have a pyramid check.
What do you think will be on the pyramid isolated?
20 bucks.
I'm hoping for a sword upgrade.
Looks like we got the Baker pun from Blind today. Is love. See, Ganon loves us. We shouldn't fight him. Wait, that's not how this works? Okay. Catfish check. That's a little unexpected.
Ooh, and QuizBowl doesn't have the mirrors, so they can't go do mushroom too.
That's right. Not heading towards Eastern early is so far affecting his routing. Not quite sure how far behind it's putting him strictly, but it is messing with his routing a little bit. Now let's see what Frick decides to do with his mirror flippers. Well, mostly his mirror. Let's see what the catfish has for us.
Just bombs.
Sensing a theme. Water bombs. Let's see where QuizBowl decides to go. Looks like he's going to make the play on desert.
I mean, it's not a bad call. It's one of the few options they have left.
Absolutely. Plus, if it's not boots blocked, he can go ahead and complete it. And get his green pendant if he so chooses. Looks like we'll have an Agina check first, though. Alright, one player's checking South to Stumpy, the other's checking Agina. Which pays off? Well, South to Stumpy doesn't. And Agina doesn't. That is true, as chat just pointed out. All of Death Mountain is open to Frick right now. And again, it is not open to QuizBowl as he does not have the mirror yet.
And that is true.
No, we could get a Bombos check, actually, right now. Frick won't be able to pick up the item, but he could see what it is.
Oh, and QuizBowl sees that medallion. Don't you need the Master Sword to do a Bombos check, though?
Not to see what the item is. You only need the Master Sword to get the item. Although with Desert Ledge holding a medallion, that makes Desert a little bit of a better option. Especially if fighting Aghanim is not what you want to do. Alright, we had the small key in the map chest, so far no boots block.
I'm calling big key on chest, or big key on torch, though.
I am too. Oh, and here we have the Death Mountain play from Frick. I like this.
And we'll get to see what Old Man gives for the ride.
And you're right, it is big key on the torch. And furthermore, no items in Desert that are accessible without the boots. So really, all QuizBowl's going to get out of this is Ether. Or whichever medallion it was. I didn't quite catch which one it was. But I'm guessing it's Ether, because logic, somehow. So let's see what's on top of and inside of Spectacular Rock today.
Just bombs. And 50 rupees.
Well, nothing exciting there. We will get probably a Hera completion.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't complete Hera. They have a source of light, so they can do the basement if the basement calls.
Interesting that he's not going to check Ether. Of course, he could be deciding to wait until he gets a sword upgrade, but
They might not know that you can check it without the Master Sword.
it's quite possible.
I believe that was introduced very recently.
We find our first item in here is the Bloomerang. And so far, no basement. In QuizBowl, deciding to go to Death Mountain before Sahasrara and Eastern. What could be in Pedestal? Oh, looks like we have Ice Rod, Fire Rod,
No boots.
Bombos, if that's required for T-Rock, and not required for Meyer. Boots. No, not boots.
Yeah, we can't have boots. Could we have flute?
Nope, because Meyer's a pendant.
Oh, that's true.
It's also why we can't have mitts. A fetch quest item to get to one of said required items.
Could we have... Did you say bow?
No, I did not. Bo could be at Ped.
Old man just gave him 20 rupees.
Well, at least he paid you for the walk. It looks like we're still waiting on that second item in Hera. Will we have to go to the basement?
I'm thinking so.
Oh, almost took a nasty fall there. The reason that center hole is so dangerous is if you fall down there, you fall 2 floors. Just a little love. No basement of Hera today. QuizBowl. Checking Sahasrara. Gonna get his silvers. Hopefully he goes into Eastern and gets his mirror too.
Ooh, it looks like we're gonna have a floating island check. Ooh, just 20 rupees.
It's a long walk to Spiral Cave. And in spite of having all these items, there's still no AGA access yet, if T-Rock is Quake.
Yeah.
Believe Fricker has done Zora, and it was just some bombs.
You are correct.
QuizBowl will be picking up his mirror in just a second here.
I wonder if Paradox Cave will have anything good.
I'm going to say it will because I'm not quite sure what other options they have open besides Pod right now. Let's see. Bombs. Some more money. More money.
I'm hoping one of these is bow. But it's not.
Nothing on Death Mountain. So I think at this point, yes, you do have the first part of Swamp, and you have maybe the first couple of chests in Pod, depending on what's where. Not... Frick might be going for Hobo, but... outside of that, I'm not quite sure where he's going. Yes, the bow can be an Ice Palace, but neither player has access to Ice Palace at the moment. Hey, there's Blue King.
Now, they technically do have access to that blue cane, right?
Yes.
So, with that blue cane being there, do you think something's in Spike Cave?
Oh, that could be. Because Blue King will... Yeah, actually. I would almost reckon that might be the play to make. Let's see where he goes from here. My guess is he's going to go to Dark World. Where in Dark World he goes, I'm not entirely sure. No? He's going to take the Swarp. Okay.
I don't think Fricker's done Zora.
It might have been QuizBowl that did it then.
They have not turned in the mushroom.
Mushroom for Mitts, the dream?
Ooh. That might be a thing.
Are we... Nope. I kind of thought he was going to go for Spike Cave after he caught that fairy. Here's an Ether check.
Couch cash.
Well, that's good to know. Looks like Frick is now going to make his play on Desert. Which, I don't disagree with the choice, given that it's open right now, and as far as he knows, he's not boot blocked. So really, we're going to see both players kind of do what the other already did. So we won't have any major developments quite yet. QuizBowl failing the wall walk. Has to mirror to get back to a switch.
I believe there are actually switches in the back half.
Not on the second floor.
Oh, okay, on the second floor.
Yeah, the one that he fell to. Which, fun little factoid, the basement of GT, or not the basement of GT, but the basement of Hera and the not our most basement of GT is actually the first floor.
That is very interesting. I didn't know that.
I believe they're the only dungeons that do that. Start you on the second floor. Frick discovering the bad news that he is boots blocked. He will still get his ether medallion, which is a good idea. Not knowing what Turtle Rock is yet. Oh, he's not taking it.
Interesting.
No, maybe he will. I think he just realized he can't leave. Desert is a very cruel dungeon. It doesn't let you out unless you go up to the ledge.
Or you have flute.
That is true.
Ooh, and Troll Dorm strikes again.
He doesn't take that. He didn't earn that name for nothing. Oh, another Troll Dorm. You have Nagina check on Frick's side. So, I think at this point, both runners are just about even with each other.
Mm-hmm.
With the only difference being QuizBowl hasn't checked East Death Mountain yet.
Ooh, Troll Dorm 3. The troll strikes back.
He's also kind of got to watch his health too, because if he keeps taking too many hits, he may end up having to reclimb the whole tower.
Mm-hmm.
Unlikely, but especially with that fairy in a bottle. But if Trolldorm lives up to his name in full,
It's quite unfortunate for QuizBowl.
now this is starting to look like one of my Moldorm fights. I'm very acquainted with every tile you can fall on. Oh, we might have a mushroom check. We do. Let's see where this leads us.
I really hope the mushroom is something progressive.
Go ahead and grab it a potion. Not a bad idea. So I think if you're these runners, you either want mitts or bow. Or money.
Ooh, it's just money.
So at this point, your choices are basically pot or swamp. Or Spike Cave.
I'm thinking it's going to be Spike Cave.
The V26 logic says Spike Cave. The part of me that wants these guys to find something says pod. But no, they have not been to pod yet, although it looks like Frick may be our first runner to take that venture. And pod without the bow is very interesting, because you can only find the bow in the first 3 chests. So if you don't find it within those 3, you will not find the bow in pod. Now, I think boots in pod would be the most interesting option over hookshot in pod. QuizBowl going ahead and doing East Death Mountain here. Going to be grabbing all of his disappointment. Something to keep in mind is that Kiki the Monkey not only requires 110 rupees, but if you get hit at any point during the trek, he will just flee. So if this is... yes, they still have the fighter sword. This chest will determine what pod looks like. And it looks normal. So, for them to progress in pod, that first chest has to be a key or the bow.
Now, I'm fairly certain one of these 2 chests has to be a small key, correct?
I don't believe so, no. Because you could have 2 small keys on the right side. So you could just be bow locked out of pod right here.
That is true.
We have a magic bat check with the fake powder.
Now, I have only seen this once, and it was on a VOD, and it was really cool.
So I'm not quite sure what the setup is for it.
I believe you actually do have to have a little bit of magic left. Oh, nope, I am wrong.
So let's see what this is.
Oh,
Oh!
combos. So, that is... It's not a huge sequence break, but it kind of is a somewhat big sequence break.
It's big if Turtle Rock is required. Because then Frick will have to find the magic powder to complete the seed. Whereas QuizBowl will not at this point, if that's the case. So it's a very... What medallion is Turtle Rock is going to determine a lot right now. Is this... I don't know if this is Dark World or a pedestal check. Dark World, okay. Looks like we haven't found much in pod of worth yet.
Just 320 rupees.
Oh, the big key is on the right side.
Interesting.
So with that, the options are now Spike Cave and Swamp.
My vote is still for Spike Cave.
I actually want it to be in Swamp, in the chest that you normally hookshot to after falling down on left side.
Ooh.
Bonus points if that's actually the hookshot. See. Yes, it is. I never said it was not. Both players have picked up their validation arrows now. What do we have here? A pedestal check for Frick. Not pedestal, pyramid. Quest needs to be careful, because if he dies on the overworld, he's going all the way back to the light world, Sanctuary, Link's house, or mountain cave. Although now we can die safely. Oh, gets wall mastered.
Not fun. Ooh, and barely has enough magic.
All just to get the big key, too. You would have really liked to have seen an item or half magic there. So that's Catfish down. Now, Fricker could be going for North Dark World at this point. There is that possibility too. As neither player has checked the ledge above Graveyard yet.
That is true.
And everyone, eventually, once the mirror cooperates, get your pedestal hypes in the chat. We're having a check.
Here it is. Ooh, the cape.
That's interesting.
So if they don't find a Master Sword, then Act 1 will not be required. Well, actually, no, let me rephrase that. What am I thinking? I guess if they don't...
I think what it is if they don't find a Master Sword, Cape is required to get into Aga 1, which is only required if Quake is the medallion for Turtle Rock. It could... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's kind of interesting.
That's assuming there's nothing required of Bumper Cave. If something's required of Bumper Cave, we have a pedestal seed.
And it looks like they're both going to check Bumper Cave, actually.
I absolutely agree with this, especially from QuizBowl.
Oh, just a quarter heart. Things are not looking good.
No. Now, This puts QuizBowl in a bit of a pickle. Because he won't know until he gets the mitts if it's a pedestal seed. Assuming no Master Sword. Actually, yeah, I think they are just about totally even. Just one check pedestal. Oh, and one of them has Bombos, which may or may not be a significant lead because he did the fake powder. Let's see what's in north of Graveyard.
Still hoping for something big. It's
Nope.
just 10 arrows.
It is Spike Cave or Swamp now. I don't believe there's any other options.
I think they're going to check Swamp before they check Spike Cave.
The cave was at the pedestal, to answer the question in chat. And yeah, that's the smart thing to do, is check Swamp before you check Spike Cave. QuizBowl now going to turn his mushroom in.
And it looks like Fricker is making the move on Swamp Palace.
I like this. Both of these runners, I believe, have been making very good choices.
Just hope it's the right one.
OG Curbs, yes. Agar required is still a possibility if Cape is for, or if Quake is the medallion for Turtle Rock. In any other case, he is not.
Wall kicks. Berna is on the island in Lake Hylia.
I'm surprised neither runner has went to grab.
You just said we know where it is. I clearly can't read.
There we go. Into Swamp. Now, bear in mind that neither player has the hook shot, so if they want to do left side Swamp, it's probably going to take about 30 seconds to a minute longer than it normally would.
Ooh, just 3 bombs so far. I'm still holding out, though.
And if this comes down to Spike Cave...
Now, aside from Spike Cave, I think this is their last spot they could check.
Yes. They can see what's on the Bombos tablet, but without an upgraded sword, they can't get the item there. Now, what if the big item is a fetch quest item?
Oh. Oh, boy.
I think right now Mitts would open the seat up to most of the players.
Mitts would, Boots would open things up, Bo would open things up, even Fire Rod. Oh, but the hook shot.
That's big that's there. Left side Swamp is now a lot faster.
And right side Death Mountain is open.
The quick way to right side Death Mountain is open. It has been open since they had the mirror and hammer.
Oh, I'm a silly goose.
Bumper Cave was a piece of heart. So not required from that standpoint. Fricker did not flood the key. That's important. The only way cave is required is if there's no swords before Aga 1 and Quake is required for T-Rock. There's a lot of conditionals. Now, if you're the runners, you gotta be wondering where your opponent is if you're this deep into the seed and you haven't found really any way to complete dungeons besides Hera and Thieves Town.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be like frustrating for both of them because they're probably assuming that their opponent has figured things out.
Let's see what left side swamp holds for us today. Raven, they are still everything hunting. That's the short way to put it. And a good break for the runners. Big key on left side.
Not be good though if a big chest had map though.
I think both players are going to go ahead and full clear swamp anyway, just because there's so many items left. So it may not even matter for this case. But map and big chest would have been a something. Zelda, technically speaking, I don't know if the logic accounts for this, but you can just face tank Spike Cave if you have about 17 hearts or so, or potions.
The logic requires you, or it doesn't require you, but it requires either the cane or the cape to be accessible in order to get the item.
Okay, that is good to know.
I believe that was also another recent update to the logic.
Now, in this case, for these players, that's what's it called? It may not affect what item goes there for them right now, just because we know cane is accessible. Ooh, there's red mail.
Not super necessary, but always nice to have.
These players are definitely quite tanky. Here we go on the Argus fight.
Ooh,
For Flicker.
doing the hammer strat.
Get ready to see a lot of item time in the menu. And I'm guessing we're going to see QuizBowl take the same strat against Argus, because I believe you have to do spins in order to hurt Argus with the fighter sword. Yes, spikes will always do 1 heart of damage. Doesn't matter what mail you have. We're seeing hammer strats from both players. I think we're going to see spin slashes to take Argus down on Fricker's side. Or we were.
Getting some hammer hits in, though.
No, you would think a hammer against the giant blob would be something, and it is.
Ooh, the flute. That is big.
That is big, and it is also terrible. Because it doesn't really open anything for them.
I mean, it could lead to something good being in Mire, especially with them finding the hook shot in Swamp.
Here's the thing, though. They don't have the mitts.
Oh!
I'm pretty...
right.
I think it has to be Spike Cave. Which means we could see a Blue Cane pick up into that. QuizBowl having a little bit of difficulty lining up the hammer hitbox, which is quite small. Yes, they do need mitts for Hookshot Cave, and they need mitts for Smithy. It really looks like mitts are in Spike Cave. Unless Bo is in Spike Cave, that's the other thing that it could be.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bow or Mitts or Boots is in Spike Cave.
Or it could be a sword upgrade.
Oh. That would be... I mean, it would be nice, but that would be bad.
Because if it is a sword upgrade, that means you have to go to Bombos, pretty much.
And I wonder where Fricker is going. Do you think they'll attempt Spike Cave without the cane?
If they have a potion, I believe they will. They do have the book, but Desert is Boots locked, because the big key's on the torch. The implications of this seed are terrifying right now.
And it looks like they're not going to do Spike Cave.
He's going to check Ether Tablet, I think.
Okay.
We may have a sync on Spike Cave. Or a near sync, anyway. No? I'm pretty sure he checked everything over here.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
He doesn't have the mitts to open up Turtle Rock.
Ooh.
We have the pod play coming from QuizBowl.
And it looks like they're headed away from Death Mountain.
He might be going to get the cane.
I really hope so.
Plus, it would make sense. If you know where the cane is, there's no sense doing Spike Cave without it.
No Ice Palace because mitts are needed.
Wait, no, QuizBowl did do pod. I think. No, he never did. Yeah, I think we can safely say Fricker's in the lead just because he's already done pod and he's only got Spike Cave left. Glenn, both items in... Well, one item in Skull Woods was checked. The other one is behind the Fire Rod block, so that can't be the Fire Rod.
Well, Fricker has gotten their cane, and it looks like they're going to go back to Spike Cave. Or maybe not. They're just contemplating right now.
He might not be sure where to go.
Bombos was at Magic Bat, but it was obtained via a sequence break.
Yeah, I think he's just going over his options right now, trying to think of what did he miss. Which it's given QuizBowl time to go ahead and clear out Pod, but it's really weird to say that he's catching up because they're both going to end up in Spike Cave eventually.
Yeah.
Spike Cave only requires hammer and cane or cape. Oh, and the power gloves or the flute. Either will do.
I wonder if Fricker is using an item tracker.
It's probably likely. Hookshot Cave requires the mitts to get access to Dark Death Mountain.
But it looks like they have decided to go to Death Mountain, so hopefully they'll make the right play.
I think he will. I don't see any other play that could be made right now. A nasty fall on QuizBowl's side. Green Pendant requires boots. Here we go.
Oh, they're not even going to use the cane.
He's probably going to save it till closer to the end of the cave.
That makes sense.
Especially given that if you lift the rock up and you have one heart left, you will die on the first frame.
Ooh, and the Titan's mitts. They are not showing that chest some love.
The seed is open for Fricker.
So with these newly acquired Titan's mitts, where do you think they'll head to?
I'm going to say either Meyer area or the overworld stuff near Kakariko.
It looks like Meyer.
Let's see what's required for the emblem or medallion. It is Bombos.
Ooh. So that puts QuizBowl at a pretty good advantage, or with a pretty good advantage.
Absolutely.
However, Meyer is a pendant, so there is always a chance that they won't have to go in. But again, Schrodinger's dungeon.
And the Ice Rod. We can't forget about our lovely friend, the Ice Rod. The reason the Ice Rod is so troll is it can be literally anywhere but Trinex, and that includes GT on a pendant Turtle Rock Seed.
Checkerboard Cave just having a quarter heart.
We're probably about to have a... No, we're not. He might not have checked this mirror spot. So we might see QuizBowl start heading towards the Kane of Brian.
No, I think for Fricker, the next optimal play would probably be to dip into, or at least check Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Let's note that also Fricker cannot get into Ice Palace yet, whereas QuizBowl can.
Oh, because of no Bombos or Fire Rod.
That's correct. Although everything in Ice Palace will be a sequence break as of right now.
That is true.
Looks like he's going for the overworld stuff. Which is actually not bad. You could also check the Bombos tablet while he's doing this. Nobody has had a chance to check the TR medallion yet.
Fricker is the only one with the ability to.
Although QuizBowl is about to go mad mode on Spike Cave.
Almost using that blue potion.
That would have been a bit unfortunate, as it's relatively expensive. All right. Let's see where QuizBowl goes. The way you item dash is you press the Y and A buttons on the same frame when you have the boots.
Ooh, in the Master Sword.
Cape is not going to be required.
But if I was in Fricker's shoes, that would... I feel like the game would be telling me to go do Aga.
I think he's going to check T-Rock now to make sure that's not the case. Or is the case, rather. But with that sort of upgrade, that confirms that pedestal will not be a thing. Unless it happens to be a thing by virtue of every pendant boss has a required item.
Looks like we have QuizBowl with the sequence break Misery Mire.
This is interesting. If this is Ice Rod or Fire Rod, QuizBowl has a huge lead. Or even Boots. Well, maybe not Boots. Depending on what's in Desert.
Oh, but Fricker finding the magic powder, so they'll be able to catch up with the Bombos.
That makes the logic being you have to go to Spike Cave, get the mitts, then come to Dark Death Mountain, get the powder to get the Bombos to get in the mire. Let's see. Ether for T-Rock.
So, Aga not required.
That's probably good news for both of our players.
Hookshot Cave being a bust.
Unfortunate. Could we see? I think he's gonna go ahead and open T-Rock.
I mean, might as well while you're there.
Oh, this would be a quick mire. Big key in the second chest.
Ooh, and Fricker almost missed that peg.
Let's see if he decides to dive into T-Rock for the first couple of chests. Or if he's just gonna open it and say no. He's going in. The big gamble's coming out in full force right now.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if this chest that Fricker's going to is not a small key, they are done in Turtle Rock, right?
That is correct. And he also needs to have this chain chomp chest coming up have a small key. Although if it is a small key, Fire Rod can be on the laser bridge.
Oh, that would be bad.
Let's see what he gets. Today I learned you can push the right block. There it is. He can go. So now he's going to be looking for the big key in the vanilla spot, as Chad is pointing out. The amount of things that have to go perfect for a deep, fraudless T-Rock is insane. And I haven't seen anything in Mire yet.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything good either.
Which
Ooh,
rod was that?
I believe the ice rod.
Okay. So a Misery Mire dive is required.
Oh, it was actually the fire rod.
Oh, interesting.
So, somewhat very sequence broke.
Yes. Looks like Turtle Rock is big key locked. But he will check the Mimic Cave.
Mimic Cave could have something good. Oh, the bow!
Mire just being huge right now. Quiz taking
Just
a
noping on out of there.
Quiz taking the huge lead right now. And keep in mind, this is all sequence broken according to the logic for him. Bombos was at the Magic Bat with the Magic Powder in Dark Death Mountain. What QuizBowl did is he did fake powder to get Bombos, which allowed him to go into Mire to get both items.
So it looks like the QuizBowl will do Pod and then mirror on over to do Eastern.
I'd like that myself.
Looks like Fricker's having some issue with these mimics.
This one Mimic just isn't behaving. There he goes.
Ooh, and Spike Cave with the whole love.
The way you do the fake powder trick is basically, from what I understand, you use your cane when you have no magic, pause as soon as possible, switch immediately over to the mushroom, and just spam the Y button and hope it works. There might be some other fine details to that I don't know of.
There is more than likely a tutorial on it floating around on YouTube somewhere. However, again, I could be wrong, but I believe that was also recently discovered.
So here's the question. If you're Fricker, T-Rock didn't pay off. Meyer did pay off. Okay, he is checking Magic Bat. That's good. Right now, his best chance to catch up is to find Boots in an extremely out-of-the-way location.
Yeah. But I'm guessing Boots are in Ice Palace.
Now, here's an interesting idea. Also, looks like Big Key is going to be on the right side of Pod. What would be interesting is if the boots are in the big chest and QuizBowl decides to skip it.
Oh, that would be bad.
But it looks like that possibility is dying as I speak. Did QuizBowl do Gary's lunchbox?
I don't believe so.
Actually, one of the tablets having what's it called? The boots right now might be good for QuizBowl, or QuizBowl, for Fricker, because he has the sword upgrade that QuizBowl does not at the moment.
Ooh, that is true. Ooh, and it's just 5 bombs, or a 5 bomb upgrade.
I think we have a Bombos check. This could be big.
It's just a map in a big chest in Pod, so that means Helmstar King has something, right?
Yes. He will have the last item of the dungeon.
The Bombos tablet was a bust.
Now, here's an interesting other idea. Boots at Fat Fairy requiring Turtle Rocket Pod to be completed.
Oh, goodness.
Just full of these.
Looks like Fricker's he was contemplating going to Misery Mire, but...
Is he going to go to Ice?
I think so.
Okay. No?
Maybe back to Misery Mire, yep.
Okay. Now, to be fair, Ice wouldn't have been terrible if Boots were in there, but he still would be full clearing it instead of go moding it at that point anyway. QuizBowl is going to be finishing Pod in about a minute or two here.
We'll see shortly what goodies the Helmstar King has.
So by the time Fricker is done with this dungeon, both players will only require the Ice Rod and the Boots to be in go mode. Now, Fricker may not think he's actually that far behind because he may not know or even think about the fact that fake powder is a thing because he turned the mushroom in so quickly.
That is definitely true.
Don't know if that will change his playstyle any, although it may. If he takes less gambles because he thinks he's in better shape than he may really be.
Ooh, and Helmstar King just having a quarter heart, so while pod was required, it wasn't super rewarding.
But still, being a required dungeon and one of 5/6, it's never bad to just finish it off now while you have the chance. Before you go to some of the more obscure spots. Now, if QuizBowl does go to T-Rock next, he will be able to get farther into it. Speaking of fire rods, Fricker's about to pick his up. No, what do you... No! Don't! Oh man.
No. That is really gonna set Fricker back. Unless they remember to go back to Misery Mire. But even
There's...
that, it's still such a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, taking that big gamble, assuming that there's nothing else good in there.
Especially when you have the fire sources, you can finish out everything you need. If he doesn't find Bo here, he may end up going back anyway. But it'll be the difference of a potentially full cleared Ice Palace when he may not have needed to.
Yeah.
Especially if... Go ahead.
The only benefit to Fricker going into Ice Palace is we'll see if at least boots are here.
But if boots are here, that's going to lead him to... Well, he may actually swing Mire into Desert if that's the case.
I mean, that would be another, like, good play.
It's very difficult, but I don't think it's quite yet impossible for Fricker to catch up from skipping Bo.
QuizBowl make easy work of those Armos Knights thanks to Shalar's silver arrows.
And that puts him at 5 crystals. There's also Skull Wood is now open, so we may see Fricker head there before he goes back to Mire. Quiz got the bow, what, 15 or so minutes ago when he first went into Mire? Maybe less than that?
Yeah, about then.
This room on ice is the worst room in the dungeon.
It's terrible. The moving floor, and then you're pushing left to go forward, and then it switches, and then all of a sudden you're flying in the other direction you don't need to go to.
Looks like we're going to see QuizBowl doing some of the overworld goodies. He will get his sword upgrade now. He's going to get his disappointment from Hammer Pegs, and let's see what Fricker finds deeper in ice. Hopefully something good. for his stake. There's one item. So I guess in order for Fricker to catch up, he will need boots somewhere insane. Pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what's it called? I'm not even sure where boots could actually be. That would be that level of troll.
You know they're not Mimic Cave.
I mean, boots and Ice Palace leading to Ice Rod anywhere but T-Rock could work, because we'll probably see QuizBowl go ahead and just do T-Rock all the way to Trinex. Yes, you are allowed to have your own personal tracker. You just can't have... I think there's like a requirement for... What's it called? I think there's a requirement that it can't auto-track based on your ROM. But outside of that, I think it's fine.
SRAM traces are not allowed. And while this is not released to the public, there is someone on Twitch, I believe his name is IEEE735. He created a chat tracker based upon Death Futon's tracker, which is also banned. Not Death Futon's tracker, but chat. Chat being able to edit your HUD is banned.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense to ban that. Let's be honest here.
However, very few people actually have access to it, so it's not that big of a deal. The only two major, or even three major people that I know of having it are Andy, Christos Owen, and Patty.
So here we go. There's the big key. Will Cold Stare or will the big chest hold the item? Now, something interesting to note about Ice Palace is it is technically possible to be semi-key locked out of the dungeon. Now, what that means is that Cold Stare will hold a key, and you will have to get the Cane of Samaria somewhere else in the seed to complete the dungeon, or do the bomb jump, but that will not be required by the logic.
Compass and big chest, so we're getting close, but no luck.
Looks like it's going to be Cold Stare. Which does mean that doing the full clear Ice Palace, unless Boots and Ice Rod are not in it, may not be the worst thing in the world for Fricker, as QuizBowl likely will have to do the same. Unless, of course, he finds both. Yeah, this is the Cold Stare fight.
Ooh. Keeping him locked in the corner.
Getting a couple Fire Rod shots out. Absolutely a good choice when all you've got is Master Sword. It looks like we saw the second item in Skullwoods, and it was a heart piece.
Yes, it was.
And nothing in ice.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually really curious as to what Fricker's thinking right now.
I'm gonna guess either Skullwoods or T-Rock.
Oh, I forgot they had the Fire Rod. They're probably gonna go to Skullwoods.
he goes back to Meyer, that'll be huge. He just doesn't know it yet.
But it looks like Skullwoods it is.
Which is fair. It's quite fair, actually. So, even though, yes, it's a big deal that he left Meyer, really, he's only the double dip of Meyer behind. QuizBowl, check the pedestal. It was just something of... Oh, it's the cape. That's right. Something of insignificance in this case, but usually not. Constantly going down. QuizBowl is 2 crystals away from finishing this out. Well, actually, Desert Palace is the green pendant. Boots may not be required at all.
That is true.
In which case, Ice Rod is go mode. And for all intents and purposes, if one of the runners finds Ice Rod, they will treat it as go mode. Well, I misspoke earlier. Fricker's behind by the double dip into Meyer, finishing pod, finishing Eastern. Which is quite a bit more than just the double dip. It's Fricker's turn. Mothula. Gets a couple good fire rod shots off. So the trick to fighting Mothula is you don't want to knock her into the spikes, as she is coded to take no damage from the spikes or anything that does equal damage to the spikes, including the golden sword. Even though that is fixed in the randomizer.
I did not know it was fixed in the randomizer. That's interesting.
Yes, I believe it is also fixed in the US version, but I can't confirm as I have yet to try to fight Mothula with a gold sword in that. But in the original Japanese 1.0, because the spikes and the gold sword are coded to do the same damage, Mothula is immune to all weapons of that damage class. So with both items out of Skull Woods and everything out of ice, he's going to do a pedestal check, which is a good idea. Make sure that everything... Oh, that is correct. Chad is correcting me on my earlier statement that only the poke from the golden sword
I see.
can hurt Mothula. Because it's not the same type of damage as just a regular slash. He's going back.
Well, that's good.
It's time for him to play some catch up.
Now, there are only 2 items in Misery Mire, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So with him picking this up now, he'll go ahead and finish off Eastern Pod. Then they'll both have to find the Ice Rod, which probably isn't T-Rock.
Yeah, I'm going to guess T-Rock Laser Bridge.
Of course, it's also our favorite shovel leads to boots, leads to Ice Rod.
That shovel.
Shovel is easily the best item in the game because it causes so many nervous panic attacks. Now, Bo was in the vanilla big key room, was it not?
Wherever Fricker just jumped down from, I believe Bo was right there.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. He was doing the pause buffer. Thought he was going to leave again.
Now, I fully expect Fricker to bomb the heck out of that chest when he finds the bow.
I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a couple of seconds to do a Bombos hit on it. Here's the map. QuizBowl doing what I expected he was going to do in full clear ice. No, he's... Okay, I think he's going to check this chest first. Ooh, gonna go from the top to save the key. I like it. There it is, you were right.
Ooh, and we see those angry slashes.
So now it's just how fast can Fricker do pod and ice? Or ice. Eastern. Wasting no time, heading right back over there. You know, there's something else I imagine both of these players want to find at some point, ideally.
What's that?
A sword upgrade to get to tempered.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Not required, but Master Sword to tempered is a gigantic damage jump. Hobo has been checked, Zora has been checked, Fat Fairy requires Turtle Rock to go down. And if you find the Ice Rod, you're in go mode unless Torch is holding the big key in Ganon's tower. So I'm pretty sure QuizBowl has checked everything but Cold Stare, so he'll get his arrow upgrade and be very upset. Though I fully believe he's going to go to Turtle Rock.
I mean, it's the only crystal that they haven't done.
It's the only dungeon they can access any more of than nothing. I mean, they can kill Vitreous, but I don't think that's going to help them at all.
Yeah, it won't really lead to anything.
Except the sweet, sweet satisfaction that you shot a knot with silver arrows. I think Fricker will take the gamble on the big chest.
I mean,
Given how late he found the bow.
Yeah, it's in their best interest to leave no stone unturned.
QuizBowl going ahead and taking out Cold Stare. Does need to be a little careful of his health.
Ooh, only 2.5 hearts.
It does eventually knock the eyeball down to submission.
Now, Isolated, if they find Boots in Turtle Rock, do you think they will head straight over to Desert, or do you think they'll go as far as they can in Turtle Rock?
I think they'll go as far as they can in Turtle Rock to absolutely guarantee that Ice Rod is not there if it's not. Then they'll go to Sanctuary and do the Bonk Rocks before they do Desert.
Ooh, I didn't think of Bonk Rocks.
Speaking of Turtle Rock, here we go. Oh, Chad, that's just mean. Shovel and Tile Room, Boots from Shovel, Torch, Big Key, and Ganon's Tower.
That is not nice.
I mean, at that point, you're 100% in Ganon's Tower, pretty much. But they may find a sword upgrade.
However, with them checking a lot of overworld spots and actually not finding a sword, I think there's a pretty good chance that both sword upgrades will be in Ganon's Tower.
You know, I'm going to say this right now. Both sword upgrades are in Desert.
Oh. That would not be fun. QuizBowl is about to shortly find the magic powder that they realized that they didn't use.
Fricker realizing that he does, in fact, have all of the items out of Pod.
Oh, going in again.
No. Did he skip something?
Big chest maybe.
But the big chest only had the map in it. Unless he miscounted his items.
Yeah, that'd be the only other situation, I think.
Unless he skipped more than just the one chest. Or he's that concerned about Ice Rod, which, given how late he found Bo, he may be.
Yeah, checking to see that he doesn't have a map. And
Ooh, he misses the bomb jump.
I did not know you could get a pull from the right turtle hand.
I did not either. We're just learning a whole bunch of new stuff today.
Fricker does get that bomb jump, sees its map, and probably says frick.
That may be putting it politely. We go. QuizBowl's first, potentially only dip into T-Rock.
Now, the initial dip into T-Rock didn't really give much, did it?
No. I don't think it gave anything but keys, actually. So I want to see what's in that Fire Rod Torch Room now, besides the big key. The other thing that they may want to have is half magic.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really try and go for half magic. It's probably best to learn how to do the game without having to rely on half magic, but it's always something nice to have.
Yeah, and even if you're not great at managing your magic, well, there we go.
Ice Rod.
That is go mode for QuizBowl.
Hopefully.
Unless boots. But I think as far as he's concerned, he's just going to treat it as go mode. My apologies that I cut you off there.
No worries.
So, at this point, well, Fricker's going to be heading up to T-Rock himself now, so he may only be a couple minutes behind.
Yeah.
A left-right gamble in GT could make the difference.
It could make all the difference.
Or even a couple falls to Moldorm, too. Being controlled a little bit by Sky Cabbage. QuizBowl will likely just take this key and run. Now, Fricker will pick up a little bit of time just from not having to check all the chests on his way in, as he's already done that. And every second is going to count at this point.
I mean, it's kind of neck and neck.
I'm actually kind of curious if we'll see the big tile room gamble.
Yeah, I really don't know.
It's a big 45-second gamble that could very easily be for nothing, but if it pays off, it pays off. So what's the quote we're supposed to get at the beginning? The seat is bootless until boots?
I guess so. The QuizBowl skipped Mimic Cave. We know nothing of values in Mimic Cave, but it's not that long to actually check Mimic Cave, so maybe QuizBowl is just really, really hoping that boots aren't required for Ganon's Tower.
I think at this point you kind of have to go with that and go and pick up the pieces later as necessary.
Ooh, Tempered Sword.
Oh, that's interesting. In an effort to look for the key, he gets a sword upgrade. And Fricker will also get that, so that's good. There's no reason to gamble on a key on Laser Bridge right now. QuizBowl missed his turn in this platform room.
Yeah, one wrong.
Spending a little bit longer.
One wrong turn, and it's going to take a little bit longer to get back.
Opts not to go for the magic. All right, Laser Bridge, what have you got for us? A door.
Looks like they're not going to use... Ooh. They didn't go out that door, so they have to go all the way back down Laser Bridge.
I just called this door the safety door. I don't know if there's an official name for it.
Big safety door is about right.
Now, here's another spot where Fricker could pick up some time. He'll have the blue cane for this bridge. He could do it a little bit faster.
Oh, I totally forgot. QuizBowl forgot to get the cane.
There's the key.
QuizBowl is very, very low on health.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't just go for the Death Warp there. I mean, he has the fairy in a bottle, but... yeah, I guess I could see it in that case. And the powder. He's got enough safeties, it looks. I had forgotten about the fairy in the bottle. Oh no, he's out of magic.
It's unfortunate.
Good news is there is a magic refill in the room right before a Trinex. And it looks like the first chest of Laser Bridge is the map. Yep, Fricker is going ahead and leaving. Okay, so the heads moved on Trinex at 2:07:17 for QuizBowl. Trinex doing his Michael Bay explosion. Looks like QuizBowl did not get the double spin. And 2:08:02 for Fricker. So that's, what, 30, 40 seconds-ish?
Yeah, about that time.
That is not an insignificant amount.
Now, Isolated, do you know what time it is?
It's time for everyone's favorite game. Put your number in chat for which chest holds the big key. We know what the fan favorite is tonight.
What are you predicting?
Well, I'm kind of lucky in that I always predict Torch, so I'm going to go Torch.
Ooh, you really want these runners to have it bad.
Yeah, we've already come this far. What about you, Little Gabes?
I think it's going to be 16. 16 or number 2 on the right side.
Ah.
Actually, scratch my number 16 submission. It's number 2 on the right side.
Seen a couple 12s. Small key butter.
Ooh.
Here's where the question comes in. Is Fricker going to gamble? Oh, that's painful.
Half magic. We know boots at least are not required.
But that half magic's just haunting them.
Now, if they find boots in Ganon's tower, when they mirror back to the beginning, do you think they'll run and go get half magic?
I think it will depend on if they believe they're ahead or not. Oh, it's left side.
Is that number 7?
That was number 7.
So it looks like no boots for QuizBowl. But QuizBowl did make the right move going to the left side.
Indeed. I can't blame Fricker for taking the right side gamble at all. Because he probably saw where the bow was and figured he's behind. This absolutely makes sense. But he's still not completely out of this. There's still quite a bit of room for Fricker to come in and take it. It'll be just all about execution.
It's times like these, QuizBowl wishes that they had the mirror shield.
Absolutely. The good news is, Fricker will find the big cube relatively quickly. I'll base the timeliness based on when they enter the gauntlet. I mean, we could base it on who finishes first, which one is ahead, but that's what everyone expects. Also, I'm guessing boots are in the rando room. Alright. 2:12:05. QuizBowl goes into the gauntlet.
There's someone in chat saying that boots will be in validation chest.
I'd believe it. The seat is bootless until Ganon.
You know, I kind of want boots to be in validation chest now.
It's like Fricker had a lot easier of a time with that Mimic Room. Looks like he's probably going to be about a minute 30 behind QuizBowl.
Who misses the first rotation of the Lambo 2 fight.
Minute 15. That's the difference separating them. QuizBowl on Lambo 2s. Looks like he's going with the gold sword instead of silvers now. Oh, Lambos are just not playing nice.
No, they are not being nice at all.
Fricker looks like he's having a pretty good gauntlet so far.
QuizBowl with the cane strats. Oh, but he did fall.
Turned a little too soon. Fricker is now on the Lambos. Let's see how they treat him. Gets 1, 2. Nearly gets all 3 in one cycle.
That is gonna catch them up a lot.
Absolutely. QuizBowl going for the lamp here. Can't say I blame him.
QuizBowl not only missed the silver arrows 1 rotation, but 2. That definitely set them back a good bit.
Fricker is now, what, 2, 3 rooms behind now?
I think so.
I'm gonna say, oh, he messes the Wiz Room. Both players have more than enough keys to get through the last floor of Ganon's tower. Here we go. The denier of all leads. Very clean fight.
Very quick, very close to the ledge. Oh, just 20 rupees in validation chest.
The big 20 strikes again.
So, rip the dream.
The seat is bootsless until the end. Wait, is that actually what's in that chest in vanilla?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember. It's been so long since I played a vanilla Link to the Past.
Maybe something to look into. All right, Agatu. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Agatu is down on QuizBowl's side.
Very nice.
Looks like it will be about a minute to 50 seconds difference. There's 1. Oh, he misses the second. Here's the Ganon fight. Already on phase 2.
Using those nice iframes with the hook shot, though.
Absolutely. Here's phase 3 Ganon. So it's going to be 4 hits here. Then, because he has the silvers, it's just 4 silver arrows away. At this point, a fall at Ganon will determine this race.
Oh, yeah.
Or if Ganon just never lands. Two 18:10, so about a minute 10 difference. Gets the torch glitch.
Very nice.
There's 1. 2. 1 more silver arrow, and QuizBowl will kill Ganon. And there it is.
QuizBowl finishes with a official speedrun time of 2:19.0. Congratulations, QuizBowl.
GG's all around. Getting that perfect time is a beautiful sight.
Let's see if we can pull QuizBowl in for an interview. And QuizBowl will be joining us momentarily.
Fricker gets a double after nearly falling. Good recovery. And that's Ganon down on Fricker's side.
Fricker's finished 7th place, or 2nd place, not 7th, with a time of 2:19.41.
For it to be a 41-second difference after all that went down, that's impressive. A couple of people in chat are pointing out that that's about how much time he spent on the map screen.
Wow. That was a very close race.
Absolutely. Looks like we will have both players in for the interview.
And let's see if we can get someone to pull QuizBowl in for us. Oh,
It
weird
looks
tag
like
by Fricker. I guess we're having some issues getting QuizBowl in. First, and here's QuizBowl. Congratulations, both.
Wow, thank you.
Very, very close race.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see the 40-second difference.
Yeah, and I don't know who it was in chat, but someone pointed out that the amount of time, the time difference was the time that was spent on the map.
Spent on the map?
Yeah,
Wow. Just looking at the map?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think I was a little distracted when I pulled up that map check, so I didn't realize it went on for that long. I had some stuff go on at the same time, but wow. 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Is Fricker on? I want to say GG to him.
Fricker is here. I don't see any voice from them though.
GG quiz. That was probably
GG.
the worst seed I've ever played, but GG to you.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think that had us running around quite a few
Everywhere.
places. Yeah. All right. I've got to ask, did my sequence break affect the outcome at all?
yes and no.
Yes.
Yes and no?
Because you did the I guess I'll call it the bat glitch.
Yeah.
You were able to go into Misery Mire and get the bow way before Fricker. Fricker actually went in, got the fire rod, and left immediately and did not get the bow. They had to do another dip into Misery Mire.
Wow. Yeah.
Version 26.
Yep. And then on the flip side, you were expecting to see that kind of distribution in Skull Woods, and it was not there.
Yeah, I went there immediately, and I didn't get anything in return.
What was it? A single arrow and a piece of heart, or something like that?
Yep.
Well, you guys both validated the run by picking that error up. Let's make sure that's cleared.
Yes. And I also did the validation chest in the end, just on the off chance it was the boots.
We were kind of hoping for it to be the boots, but it wasn't. So
It was not.
Seed was bootless until somebody goes in and finds out where the boots are.
Yeah, I
Now,
think that's only the
QuizBowl-
second I've ever done where it was completely bootless.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, QuizBowl, when you did the fake powder glitch, were you thinking in your head like, I'm gonna go ahead and do the fake powder glitch, or were you just sitting there and realized I can do this?
When I had the mushroom on me, there was always something that was more important than going up to turn it in. And you know, always something. There was like, oh, there's 2 things over here. There's 3 things over here. And then somewhere along the way, I found that cane, and so the thought crossed my mind, and I think I was getting ready to go do something. I don't remember what. I think I was going to dip into Skull Woods, and I was like, wait, I've got the mushroom and I've got the cane. Let's give this thing a try.
So was this your first attempt at it?
First attempt at that. So the only thing that that caused me to know about that was the clip early in the tournament. So shout outs. I don't remember who it was that did it in their tournament race.
I don't remember who did, but I do remember when it happened. It kind of was a big deal because people were unsure if it was actually considered a major glitch or a minor glitch.
Yeah, and then I followed the conversation. They confirmed it was a minor glitch. So I was like, well, if there's ever opportunity to do it, maybe I can and try it. And I was feeling behind at that point. Some things were not really going my way, so it was kind of a Hail Mary, if you will. I just it's like, you know what, if this leads to some sort of progression, maybe this will get me back into the race. And it did.
Well, I guess it was definitely worth it.
So let me ask you both. How about the Titan's Mitts and Spike Cave? After checking everything.
Wow. Yeah, I think.
I was pretty angry.
Yep. Yep. That was probably the last possible chest. Same for you, Fricker?
Yeah, I was up there.
Yeah. Now I forgot, where was the powder? Because so obviously I circumvented the powder. Where was it again? I remember getting
Powder
it.
was in Bunny Cave, I believe is what it's called.
Okay, so the Dark Death Mountain. So you would have needed Titan's Mitt to get it.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
The
Now,
logic
QuizBowl,
was all over the place.
QuizBowl, I noticed you didn't pick up the blue cane. Do you know that the logic now takes into account whether or not you have either the cane or the cape to open up Spike Cave?
Yeah, I think it also allows if you had a bottle to where you could put a potion and kind of duck behind one of the pillars and take it. I think that's what I wound up doing in order to get the Titan's Mitt. Is I drank a red potion.
Yes, that is what you did, but I actually didn't know that the logic accounted for that also.
Yeah, and I think at that point I had the flippers and I had the mirror, so and I had seen it on the island before when I was doing fake flippers, so I knew that it was available, if you will. So I knew that was a chest that I could go to and perhaps find some progression, or at least that was the last one I could think of that was available to me at the time.
Well, it was an excellent race. Thank you for letting us commentate over it.
No, thank you guys for commentating.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure you guys did a great job.
While we're thanking everyone, I would like to thank our tracker Sir Link a lot, and I'm very sorry for this, but I'm going to butcher your name, the Restreamer. I'm actually not even going to attempt it because it's going to be so bad. But thank you very much for restreaming.
I do want to ask one question real quick, just to get it in there. I've asked about a lot of reactions. Cape at pedestal. That had to have been a thing.
Fricker?
Yeah, I remember checking the pedestal and seeing the cape there, but I did remind myself that Kane was on Lake Hylia Island, so I could just do Spike Cave that way.
Yeah. I think the first thing I did was I just ran over to Cape Cave, and I'm like, okay, it's not required unless there's something in Cape Cave. And then I saw what it was. I think it was a piece of heart, and breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah. I think me and Little Gabes were both speculating that, well, maybe there's no sword upgrades and Quake is required, so you have to get the cape to get to Aga, to get Quake, to get into T-Rock, but not the case.
Oh, yes, Quake.
Thank God.
Forgot about that, yeah.
The seed seemed bad enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, creeping up on Turtle Rock, just don't be Quake, don't be Quake, don't be Quake. Fortunately, Ether.
I think I was saying the same exact thing at that time.
Well, is there anything else you guys would like to say about the race?
Yeah, GG to QuizBowl one more time, and also I'm very pleased to have 0 bonks.
Yes, GG to you as well, and I think we tied for world record.
Thanks, man.
Well, with that being said, I guess we're going to bring this race to an end. My name is Little Gabes, and I am joined by...
Isolated 999.
Thank you all for watching. Have a nice Sunday evening, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Y'all have a good night.